So, like, how are you gonna heal my head if I don't even have a headache?
Oh. It's fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Don't you worry about that.
Everything will be fine. Millennial Incantations!
Hey, girl, hey! I'm Siren.
I'm David.
And I'm Jamie.
And you're watching Millennial Incantations.
And today, Jamie is going to guide us through a healing.
But before we start, we just wanted to fill you guys in on a couple of things. First thing, definitely don't use magic over consulting a physician for any ailment you have.
Magical healing is about finding balance or restoring balance in a body. It's not necessarily about finding a cure. So when you do a healing on somebody, don't necessarily expect for them to be completely cured, but expect for them to return to a balanced state and expect for them to start feeling more centered.
In general, the best course of action is always going to be to do both. Use a magical healing and also consult your doctor. Why not take all the help you can get?
And then, of course, as we're walking you through this healing process, this is just the steps that we take to heal someone in our coven. But however you do it is the absolute right way. There's no wrong way to witch.
Absolutely not.
Nope. Everything in magic has to be drawn from your own experience and everything that you feel personally. If you are not in it, you are not doing it. So it has to be right for you.
Yeah.
For our first step, we're going to show you how to make an herbal healing mixture that will facilitate the healing process. So take it away, David.
Hi. So we are going to put together a nice little herbal mixture for Jamie to hopefully fix Siren's face. It's a very big project we got going on. We're gonna need a lot of things. All right? I have nothing. All right? I just need some things, you know what I mean? So, first thing we're going to do, we're gonna add a little bit of Mugwort. Mugwort is a great herb for healing cuts on the skin, abrasions. It's very good for that. It's also mildly psychoactive. So because we're gonna be rubbing this on Siren's big fat head, hopefully, maybe he will have sharper visions of the future and then maybe he won't get headaches anymore. I don't know, we'll see. Probably not. Yeah. Next, we're going to add some eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is great as an external application, okay? It's very cooling to the touch. It's very cooling on the skin. It makes the skin feel nice, calm. It doesn't necessarily pull the blood up, so it doesn't make your skin feel very hot. It's just very cooling and very soothing. Please just don't take it internally, okay? Unless you're a koala. And if you're a koala, I want to hear about it. Why would a koala be watching YouTube? That's insane. If you're a koala furry, though, I really do want to hear from you. I think your life is fascinating, even though I don't know anything about it. I want to know. Anyway, we're going to add some spearmint. This is another herb that's very cooling to the touch. It's very soothing to the skin. Spearmint has a lot of healing applications, and mostly what we're using it for is just that very cooling, very calming effect. Anything that's used on the skin directly and not necessarily as a medicinal application internally should be very calming. Next, we're gonna add a little bit of catnip. This is probably going to be very confusing for everybody, but I like catnip because it is mildly anti-inflammatory. So hopefully some of that puffiness that Siren doesn't know what's going on in his face will get solved, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to help a girl out. Yeah. Catnip is very important, mildly anti-inflammatory. It's very, again, soothing to the skin. The last thing that we're going to add, this is yarrow. I would add this to pretty much every single healing mixture I ever do, ever. Ever. You know what I'm saying? It is considered an adjuvant or adjuvant or however you say that word. Basically what it does is it multiplies the healing properties of every other herb that's taken with it. So yarrow is pretty much amazing. Plus flowers, come on. Like why wouldn't you want to add flowers to everything you're making? If you're not adding flowers to stuff, then you're doing it wrong, as far as I'm concerned. I'm just kidding, you do you. But add flowers, and then you can do you, but like better. So we're just gonna grind all of this together. Mugwort has a tendency to be kind of woolly. You know what I'm saying? Woolly. Woolly? It's a thing. Anyway. Mugwort can be woolly, so you have to kind of work it in. That's why I usually like to add it at the beginning, just to make sure it's kind of ground up. Most rubbed herbs actually are quite woolly, which is sort of disgusting. But anyway, we're gonna add them, okay? So we're just gonna add them to our little bowl here. Just scoop it all in. And then, of course, this is a healing mixture, so we are going to add the element of healing. And what is that? Worder, you're right. Add some water and just pour some in. Yeah. And then just let that steep for a little while. Let everything coalesce. Let all the healing energies mingle. And then the last thing you should really add is love. Because without love, you can't heal. You know what I'm saying? And next, Siren is going to talk to you about rocks or whatever.
So I'm going to be talking to you guys today about crystals because they totally rock.
Oh! Get off the stage!
Get away!
Fool!
When talking about healing, it only makes sense to mention the use of crystals. Crystal healing has a long history, usually involving placing a crystal that is associated with a particular ailment either nearby the healing spell or even literally on top of the afflicted person's body. What? How did that get there? What? Wait, what? What? How did that get in there? Well, that's just ridiculous. Today, I'm going to be talking specifically about quartz, which is associated with all kinds of healing. Plus, quartz is fairly inexpensive and easy to track down, so if you're anything like me, you're gonna end up with like a million of them. If you're going to use crystals in healing, a lot of people believe that it's necessary to program them first. And that means to just tell them what to do, put some magical energy into them. So if we're gonna use these quartz today, we need to cuddle up real close to them and healing thoughts, great healing energy. You're so good at everything. But programming a whole bunch of crystals could take a lot of time. So, y'all know I came prepared. So what we are gonna do is we're gonna take all of these lovely crystals and we are going to arrange them in a circle around the area where Jamie is gonna do the healing. Some people would call this a crystal grid. So the purpose of our crystal grid is it's gonna represent our magic circle. It's gonna surround us with that great positive energy that we put into them. It's gonna create a nice magical atmosphere. And finally, it's gonna draw on this great tradition of crystal healing. Awesome. All right, so now Jamie is gonna get us prepared to do the healing ritual. Let's go, girl.
All right, so before you get started, a couple of things that you're going to need are a bowl of clean water, some towels, your favorite incense, and candles. Lit candles. Gotta get those candles lit. And the steps you're going to take for this, the first thing you always want to do in any spell is to cast the circle of protection. With this spell specifically, you want to make sure that you and the person you're healing are really, really comfortable because you don't know how long it's going to take. And then the part of the body that you're healing, you want to make sure is exposed, that the skin is exposed. And then both of you really need to relax and put your trust in each other. You also want to make sure that you walk the person you're healing through every step that you're going through because you don't want them to have any surprises. They might already be weirded out a little bit because they're just going to walk into like a dimly lit room with just candles and incense and like a horrendous hunched dark-haired woman in the corner, you know, eating McDonald's. Both of you want to be open with each other, and the person you're healing wants to release the pain into you so that way you can absorb it and take it away from them. And finally, what I like to do is just ask them to pray to whatever deity they believe in, or just ask for positive energy. You ready? Let's rock this bitch. Okay, here we are. The first thing that I'd recommend is if you have longer hair or hair that's in your face, put it back. So that way you're not like tickling your person's face unless they're into that.
Oh no, that's okay.
Siren's into it, but I'm not.
Yeah, no one is.
So the first thing that you're going to want to do with any part of a person who is ailed is take a feel for the pain. So for me, the pain feels hot wherever it's located. If his knees were hurting or his elbows, that's where we'd be touching, but alas, it's his big face, and so we're going to be touching that.
You guys are so mean about my face.
As unpleasant as that is, sometimes you just have to feel the pain out.
So what I like to do is just place my hand over the person's head, and I'll feel warmth wherever they're hurting. And then after that, I will wet my hands with the herbal mixture. And we've given it quite a lot of time to steep, so that way the water itself is just nice and soaked with all the herbs. And it should feel very, very pleasant to the touch when you put it on the sick or injured person's skin. So what you do is you'll just cover the ouchy area. And at this point, what I like to do, well, I warn the person that I'm going to touch them. And it's normally a lot darker and quieter when we're doing this. It's a very intimate ceremony, a healing. So I touch their head and I just really, really, really focus on their pain coming to the surface and to their skin and coming out their pores. And once I start feeling my hand get hotter, what I'll do is I'll pull very, very slowly. And to me, the pain almost feels like taffy or putty. And once I start to feel coolness on my skin, I don't want to have that pain snap back like a rubber band. That's how I imagine it if it goes back into them. So what I'll do is I'll scoop it and then shake my hands off. This way I'm getting as much of their pain off of my hands as possible before I touch their skin again. This is a process that's going to be repeated several times, depending upon how bad the person is hurting or how sick they are. It's kind of difficult to describe, but it's mostly just a feeling you have. So for me, when his skin starts to feel cool, then I will slow down with the healing and everything, and always, always, always make sure to check in with the person and see how they're feeling and how they're doing. It's never, ever a bad thing to have a constant flow of communication during these types of things. I'm not perfect. Well, I am, but...
You're great.
You're pretty close, girl.
Thanks.
Even though you just got my hair wet.
You know what you signed up for.
It looks great.
It does. You look like a man.
You've never looked better.
When I was starting out, I would miss some spots, so I always like to check in and see if the person's pain has moved, because that happens too. Especially with headaches, sometimes it will move to their temple or the back of their head, and I'm hoping that that doesn't happen in this scenario so we don't have to get his entire head wet, but, you know, I wanted fun to happen tonight. So again, what you'll do, just walk you through one more time, and make sure you have really good, positive, loving energy when you're doing this. And you can do anything to center yourself, whatever you like to do beforehand. For me, setting up the circle itself is a way that I center myself. Other people like to go outside and meditate or call to corners, just different things like that to really get yourself one with the elements. And then touch again.
Sometimes I just like to have a jam session to myself, so I'll just go away somewhere and sing really loudly and get myself into a really calm kind of place, and then I can start helping others.
Yeah, that's very, very good. And I normally don't say any type of spell or prayer, but when I do, I will call on Persephone or Freya or Artemis, and you can say something really simple. It doesn't have to be something from a book, just say what comes from your heart. So you could say something like, Great Mother Persephone, please bless this child with healing and strength. Always follow your intuition with this type of stuff. Just pull it out and shake it off.
The most important thing is to feel what you're doing and to feel good about what you're doing. When you're trying to heal somebody, you're trying to take something out of them and bring them back to balance. So you have to feel good taking that negativity or that pain, that ailment out of them, and then releasing it to the world. So if you're not in the right state of mind, then you could take it into yourself, you could put it into something else, you could direct it poorly. So the point is for you to be very well balanced, take it out, and then set it back to the earth.
Mm-hmm. When we're all done and all of the pain is gone. How are you feeling?
G-rate.
Okay. Where's the frying pan?
Girl, I got it ready. It's getting hot.
Rude.
So when that's all done, what I like to do is I will take a dry towel and wipe the excess herb flecks off of my hand, and this also helps just take that bit of pain away and everything. And with this stuff, you want to make sure it gets into the laundry right after you're done, so that way it doesn't affect anything in your house, any animals or people, I guess, that you have lying around.
Just wherever.
And then you wipe the excess herbs off of them, always making sure to have that very peaceful, calm energy. Not to get in their fro. Sorry about your fro.
Yeah, you want to wipe very gently. Don't try to scrape their skin off.
Or my makeup.
Well, and then too, a lot of times the person's body is very, very sensitive after we complete a healing ritual. So make sure to tell the person that you're healing that they need to take it easy. Just because they feel really good afterward doesn't mean that they can go and do cartwheels if you just healed their knees, or that they can go and listen to really loud music if you just healed their headache. Like, they need to take it slow, always. So after all those herbs are wiped off, for the most part, they're just in your hair. It'll be fine.
What goes in there does not come back out. Unless it's a quartz crystal, I guess.
So I soak my hands in clean water, and make sure that the water that you get, this is very, very important, only comes from a spring during the 3rd blood moon of every 2 years.
What you doing, sis?
Get the out of here. Or not.
Or just whatever. That's also fine.
So soak your hands in that water, and what we're going to do is basically create, I look at it like an exoskeleton around a person, or
Shield?
a shield. Thank you.
Shield.
A shield around them to block any pain from happening. So make sure your hands are nice and cool. And again, it should feel really good. So I'm going to touch your head now.
Okay.
And then close your eyes and visualize them being protected. You can visualize just the part of them that's hurting, or you can visualize just a really beautiful, clear, iridescent shield around their whole body. And you can call upon any god or goddess to help you with this, to protect and heal and make sure that they're not hurting anymore. I call upon the goddess Artemis. Please protect your child and give him the strength to fight another day. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
So mote it be.
And then you wipe them off.
And may the Lady Hathor bless you as well.
Is that a fat joke?
And then after you're done with this, another really important thing to do is to take these mixtures, because there's a lot of ouchie energy in there, and give it back to the earth. If you can, dump it outside. We're getting into our warmer months, so we generally do in the winter time. It'll go down the drain instead, because she cold here in the winter. And then either wash your hands, and I like to have somebody turn on the faucet for me, again, so I'm not getting any gross energy everywhere. Or during the spring and summer months, I like to just go outside and put my hands on the earth. And just imagine all that bad energy flowing back into the earth, because the earth knows exactly what to do with pain and decay, and it turns it into life.
That was beautiful.
You're beautiful, Sean.
Aww.
Yay! You did it! Good healing.
Great healing.
Oh my gosh, I feel so much better.
If only you looked better.
If you have a different healing method or a different experience with healing someone, please let us know, because we're always interested in hearing every facet of your life.
Totes leave a comment.
Do it.
And if you like what we're putting out there, you should totally subscribe.
Okay, alright, I'm gonna need healed again.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye! I'm really uncomfortable. Are we done yet? I don't think this is working. Sass! Jamie! Jamie!